porcelain mug that was broken, obviously. So my motivation, actually I started with the mug itself. I had done the design on the outside at one of those like art studios where you can paint a mug, and I broke it, and I was really sad. So I wanted to use it for something else, and as soon as I heard about this project, I was like, yes, I'm gonna use that. And so the first thing I did was kind of research what other people had done with porcelain in the past, and I found a ton of people using it to create jewelry, and just kind of, you can see that most people drill to the out, or like hook it to the outside. So what I wanted to do was create 2 earrings and a necklace, just because I felt like that's kind of classic jewelry. And I made this, I'm not great at sketching, but I made this sketch to kind of demonstrate what I wanted to make based on the natural shapes the pieces were already broken into. And then I wanted to make the holes using just a hand drill. And then sand the edges, because it's pretty sharp and porcelain can cut you really easily, so I wanted to definitely do that. And then my original idea was to make everything entirely from recycled material, so I was going to make the earrings from fish hooks, and then the necklace I was going to put on fishing wire or string. So here's my initial failure. So it's really, really hard to drill into porcelain, and that's why most people like hooked their chains to the outside. So I had a lot of pieces break, and I was gonna actually try, so online I saw that you can drill into water, and that helps like keep the cracks from propagating. But eventually I was able to just drill without using water. You just have to replace the bits a lot, because porcelain is so hard that it like completely dulls the bits. So I did finally get 3 pieces drilled with a hole through them. But they weren't the initial pieces that I wanted to use. So I tried using a chisel and a hammer to kind of like shape. This one was like a huge triangle, and I was trying to shape it into something like smaller. And it was working, but I got ambitious, and then I tried to like chisel off too much, and it shattered the piece, unfortunately. So back to redesigning. So instead of shaping with the chisel, I decided to file the shape. This was very tedious, though. It's a very slow process, so I only made slight deviations to each of them. And then I decided to, instead of doing 2 different earrings, because this one broke pretty bad, I decided to put it into 1 earring and make something a little different. And then in the future, I'd like to make another one. Let's see. So then, even after that, the fish hook and like, this is actually string, but the fish wire looked like very similar. It just didn't look very good. So back to the drawing board again. So I decided to paint like the outside of the porcelain blue, so you couldn't see like the cracking and the breakage as easily. And then I added a glaze to the outside. And then I decided to use hemp to weave the chain and the earrings, which I think made it look a lot more finished. And like add to the aesthetic, because I feel like kind of the broken piece of material kind of like goes with the hemp look. And then I used actual jewelry clasps and hooks that I kind of just pressed on with pliers to make it look a little more finished. And then, so I think if I improve this in the future, I would definitely make another earring, because there's only one. And then add a shiny glaze. So I used a matte glaze, and I kind of thought that would look good, but it dulled even like the front of the piece itself, and so I think I would use a shiny one to make it look a little better. And then the weaving on the earrings, I want to weave kind of it back into itself instead of using knots, because I think that made it look a little unfinished. And yeah, there's not another slide. Any questions? Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you, everyone.
Did you tie the string to make that knotted design?
I did, yeah. So I did the weave myself.
Uh-huh.
So it's just something I learned back in high school, and I was like, I feel like that would look nice. So yeah, took a little bit of time, but I feel like it paid off, definitely. Yes?
Can you model it for us?
Model the weave?
No,
Make up
the
the
jewelry
weave.
on.
Wear
the jewelry.
I'm not going to put it on.
It'll look great with that green shirt.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all better be commenting while I do this.
And you know, and then come up and get a close up for your video.
Oh, awesome. Yay, thanks guys. Alright, and let's test the clasp here, make sure it works.